All right, I am gonna get this Friday going. And I'm gonna get going by erasing this and writing the word now. Oh, this is nothing. This is ridiculous. Here we go. All right. Today, what am I gonna do? Oop. Gonna get to some 3D modeling, but I also have a 2D design that I'm working on. I'm just killing time with this thing. I don't need to be drawing on this at all right now, honestly. Here we go. Let's see what's up here. All right. So I made this. Ugh, my desk is a mess. I made this script that automatically creates a design project from a Word document, and I'm just doing some first pass testing on it, and it's working reasonably well. Let's see here. So there were a few things I noticed that kind of were incorrect. So I want to make those changes before I forget to do it later on. So let's see here. See what I can do. So I've got this pre-process. As always, there's cleaning work I need to do. But it's a starting point. And here, I have there's one thing that was causing an error in the template, and where was it again? It was in the code stub. Where did it go? I have to remember where I made it. It's not this. That's not what I need. Here we go. It should be where did it go? I had it somewhere in here. think that was it. I think that's all it is, changing that. Then last thing here, there's some white space I can remove here and here. Let's try to run that now. And we'll open that. Right, so I want to move or copy dev qpunk.cljc, and I want to run it with Babashka. That should work for me. Okay. Huh. Kinda. Hey, bruv, how's it going? Hope you're doing well today. Do. Just testing out a script that almost works. I've got little problems here and there, obviously. Not ideal, but I can work with it. It takes a Word document and converts it into a web page right away. So it saves me a ton of time already, which is really quite nice. Pretty happy with that. Going well. That's good. I've got that Friday brain going on too. Feeling pretty done with the week, to be totally honest. Oops. But it's a good thing it's Friday. So there's a few things in the script that I haven't configured yet, right? Like all of these headings should have unique names, but they're just copied right now. So I have to work on that, but that's not a big deal. I just didn't want to change it right away. Semi-smooth brain, super Dunyan rings. You sound ridiculous, but I love it. How long have I been going? Well, so my stream uptime is 13 minutes, but I didn't start till probably 7 minutes ago. I had just a starting soon screen going for a bit, you know? Yeah, this looks good. Oh wait, this bit here is... What have I done? There we go. Intro. Okay. Things are looking okay there. Fabric requirements. How'd your stream go yesterday? You went from 8 till 10 or so? I didn't get a chance to tune in. Hope it went okay. How do I do this again? Okay, that looks okay. Looking acceptable. All right, looks like, I think, yeah, the only thing, right, I deleted that. All right, cool. So the script basically did all of the hard work for me. Now I just have to make 1, 2, 3 little images, and that shouldn't take too long. You did 8 to 9:30. Yeah, this is one of the quilt patterns. So I have so there's a whole bunch of files in here, but here, let me demonstrate for a minute. So this here, this doc file, I think it should open fine. Just give it a second. Computer's slower than I am. I don't know. There we go. Geez, that took a while. Okay, let's try to get this on the screen. So this is the form. This is basically the document that I get in by default. I just made a script that, so if I list, if you look right here, there's only 2 documents in this folder. There's the Word doc 4 points here, which I've opened right here. This is as received. I've not edited it. There's no edits to it at all. It's just a base file. If I run this QPunk script on there and I pass it the document, if you give it just a second, it just spit out a whole bunch of text and stuff like that. And it generates, oops. It generates this file here, this org file. That org file is this whole thing. And when I load this, when I let this code run, it, without doing any changes to the code, it generates this document here in the web browser. So now I just finished this script. I call it pre-processing. It basically builds a lot of the document for me. And then I can make little edits to it later. So let's see, for example, I can do So I change that and it changes here. So before, all of this code, all of that I would have had to generate by hand. I would have had to make it all on my own. So now I have a script that does a lot of that for me. The only thing I need to do is look at the figures list and change and create the figure code, which is much easier. Well, usually anyway. So in this pattern, it automatically detected that there's 3 figures, and it generated 3 stub parts right away. So these big pinkish red boxes are indications where I have to create the figure. But it automatically generates the stub code here, right? So I can do blue. I don't think it'll actually change the color, but I can edit these. One second. This should work if I do blue. Yeah. So I still have to manually change the colors because obviously they don't match. They were randomly generated. Like this green is obviously blue and this red is brown and this yellow is green. So those are not correct yet, but I manually have to select those. It's not a big deal. This I have to convert into a table, but I'll have some code for that as well. So it's coming along. More and more of the process is automated, which I'm really happy with. So here, right, I can change this shape and it changes right away here. Oh, hey, Sec Pluto. Thanks for the follow. You have a test? What kind of test are you talking about? Is it a programming thing? Welcome to the chat, by the way. I hope you're doing well. I might be able to help you. I'm not going to do any work directly for you, but if you have a question, I could maybe point you in the right direction, maybe give you a pointer or two. Feel free to ask. I might not know, though. Python and you don't understand it at all? Okay. Give it a shot. What do you have? Okay, so figure 1. You haven't started it yet, but you get 2 tries. Okay. Is it like, is it you submit the code online and try to run it? That kind of thing? What's the, what kind of thing is it testing you on? What's the general kind of question? It's hard to give anything specific up front, right? But I'll help you if I can. I don't know what this word is. I wonder if it's a typo. I did not know that word existed. When you start, it's not like you input any code, it's a multiple choice question. Okay, so how familiar are you with Python in general? What level of current understanding do you have with Python? And is it a programming question or like a mathematics or algorithm type question? I'm a little confused how you're taking a programming test and you've not used the programming language at all before. Is this like an entrance type thing or like a bonus thing or something like that? A little bit of both? Well, so how how can I help you? If you're asking questions, that's fine. It's no problem. But I need a little bit of specifics about what you're trying to achieve, so that I can point you in the right direction. You know. Hey, Mike, how's it going? Hope you're doing well today. Oh, Sick Pluto, so you're just new to the class now. Okay, that's fair enough. Yeah, if you're totally new to things, it can be hard to figure out where to start with things. So that's why I'm trying, without just giving you the answer to a thing, that's not exactly helpful. I'm trying to understand if there's something that I can provide help with. You know what I mean? I don't want to just give you the answer to a test you're taking. That's not helpful for you. That's not good for me to do. It's much better for you to try and understand those things on your own. But if there's something that you just can't understand at all, you can ask that and we'll see what we can do. Mike, how are you doing today? I hope you're okay. I'm not sure if I just asked that already. Doing all right? How about me? Yeah, I'm doing really well. I just finished working on this script here. I have sorry, one second. This I made this script here with Babashka, and it is like a I'm calling it like a pre-process step for, you know, I've brought these up on stream a bunch. I make these quilt patterns, right? And one of the slowest parts is taking the input document and converting it, you know, piece by piece to the web document. So I made a preprocessor, and I'm just kind of testing its usability right now. So here, for example, I have this docx file, so Word document, and then I can run the script on it. Floats are numbers with decimals, true or false. Okay, Sick Pluto, so do you know what the word float means at all? Are you familiar with the concept of that's the first question. Types. So there, types, I wonder if I'm using the word correctly. You've got like your fundamental types sort of thing. So you have numbers that can be integers, you have numbers that can be floats, you have text that can be strings. You can have lists of things that can be, probably in Python they're called arrays. Then you have things called dictionaries as well. So without giving you the answer, these are the kinds of things to look up. So if you were to search and you wanted to study this to understand a little bit better, if you search, if you're allowed to use the computer, the internet at all, Python types and what are they is it data types? What would be the right it's like numbers that are real numbers, so it's true. Again, I'm not going to tell you specifically, right? You're on the right track with thinking about those things. Python and all programming languages use some fundamental building blocks. Numbers are a key part of things, right? These are all, you get Boolean values as well. These are all certain types of values that can be passed around in your program, okay? So integers and floats are both different kinds of numbers. You're kind of on the right track, right? But you'll have to look in your notes or search online, and you'll be able to find that answer. So I would imagine that if those are the types of questions you're being asked, there are probably other questions in that realm that talk about these kinds of things as well. Int, floats, strings, and all of that stuff, right? Which statement should you use to read in a number from the user? Yeah, okay, so Sec Pluto, if you're just going to copy and paste the entire question into the chat, I will ask you to stop doing that, okay? You need to ask specific questions, but not the actual questions from your test. I'm not here to help you do the test that way, okay? I'm here to help you with concepts, and you can ask questions about, how could I understand this and that? So I don't want to just give you direct answers. I'm sorry. I know it can be stressful if you're writing a test, but you gotta work on these things yourself, right? Otherwise the test isn't that helpful. So feel free to ask questions. Don't be copying and pasting the exact stuff in, okay? I want to be helpful, but I want you to learn, right? And if I just give you the answer directly, that isn't helpful for anyone. So, but if that's not too discouraging for you, you can feel free to stick around and ask questions in a general manner. If you're curious about programming, about advice on where to start, learning different things, all of that stuff, we're here to help. Mike, for example, has been in the chat plenty of times. He's a professional developer. He knows a lot of different things, and we do our best to help without just directly doing the work for you. You know, I hope that makes sense to you. I don't want to be discouraging. I in a way, I want to encourage you to know that you can do these things. You can, maybe you didn't study it, or you forgot all of these components to the questions, but there will come a day where you understand those questions if you stick to it. I hope that's okay. All right, Mike, I got derailed for a second there. I wanted to just show you this here. I have a pre-processing script that I can run on a document, and it'll generate the project file directly for me. So if I run with Babashka, I can run the script here and take this 4 points in, and it generates. You got to let it actually run for a second, but it converts the docx into an HTML file, which then gets converted into hiccup data, which I then kind of parse into different sections, all automatically, and it spits out the sequence of hiccup onto there, but it also creates this org file, and then this here is the org file I'm looking at here. So it's a really nice It automatically stubs out and separates different bits of the code for me, so my editing is way faster. So to briefly answer, or to briefly talk about how I'm doing, that's where I'm at. Yeah, Mike, that's a good point. I hope Mike, that my stance on helping in that regard, I think, makes sense to you as well, right? Like, I mean, I can't control what everyone says and does to each other, but I think, I would imagine, Mike, you're probably kind of on the same track as how I was thinking about it. I'm not trying to police anyone. I'm just trying to cultivate a helpful area that's not letting people be lazy, right? But that is a good point. Yeah, if you're in your first lectures and stuff like that, it's probably good basic introductions to user input and stuff like that. Although I wonder if things are a little different. Maybe you're doing online classes and it makes all this stuff a little bit harder, unfortunately. Yeah, you're all for helping people who need it. You don't like giving an answer to a specific question. The value in a good dev is knowing how to ask the right questions and to solve problems. Mike, I can't agree more. I'm on the same wavelength with that. Cool. I'm glad I'm glad we're on the same page. Oops. I don't need to be doing this. I'm just a little bored, you know? I'm just kind of killing time for a few seconds. All right, I think here's what I want to do. I want to make at least one diagram, and then I'll move on to my 3D modeling, see if that works okay. I think he's gone. Might have been just looking for some answers for a quick solution. Yeah, Mike, I kind of wondered if that's what was happening there, and I'd rather be honest, say, look, I'm not gonna just give you the answers. That's not how I do things, so. But that's okay. That's the way it goes. So that's not the first time that's happened to me, actually. I've had some other people come in with a similar thing. I have a test or an assignment due soon and I don't understand it at all. And I mean, I want to be helpful to people, but I can't do your work for you is ultimately the reality of it. It's a little surprising to me that people would come to a stream to try and find those sorts of pieces of help, you know? It was strange to me. But anyway, it's all good. That's cool, the updates about the script though. Yeah, thanks. It's definitely a big step in the right direction. So you aren't helping people by giving them the answer though, only hurting their chances in the future and the devs they'll be working with. Yeah, no, that's totally my take on it too. It's so hard to explain that in the moment to someone who's just panicking and trying to get something finished, right? So it almost seems like I'm sure in those moments, if I say that, it's true, like this is for your own good, but it never feels like it to the person who isn't getting the answer they wanted, you know? Bit of a bummer all around. It does surprise me that people would ask questions in that way though, but so it goes. Asking questions is a skill in and of itself. I realize more and more. But yeah, you're totally right. It's not it's not actually helpful if you just feed them all the answers all the time. Now I want to do... Oh, come on. Seriously? Let's see here. Do. Just gotta get rid of this garbage. All right, there we go. Okay. Did I stream yesterday? It's Friday today, right? Yeah, I did stream yesterday. I wonder why it didn't send I don't know why it didn't send an email. Is it possible that so I do my best to change my go live notification every day so it's different text, but I haven't, out of laziness, in the past couple of days. I wonder if that tripped a spam filter in your inbox or something because the text has just been repetitive lately. Could be. I'm not sure. I do not know. If that is the case, I have to be less lazy. Clearly. That might be right. I'm not sure. Let's see here. I have to see. There. Oop. Wait a second. I can just do this. Yes, yes, yes. Come on. There we go. Must have just not gone through. Yeah, you know, it could be some microservice outage. You know, Jeff Bezos stepping down from CEO. Things are gonna, all the wheels are coming off over at Amazon Web Services. I'm joking, of course. He personally saw to it that Twitch messages got out. For sure, that's how it went. I don't remember the names of my own functions. There we go. I gotta set up like language. What are those called? Language server protocols or whatever. Yeah, he's hand typing them out himself. Yeah, for sure. Setting up a better dev environment it's one of those things that like should be high priority and relatively urgent, and I just can't do it, like I mean that's obviously not, I can do it, I just keep not doing it for no real reason. It doesn't make sense in my brain, but for now I'm stuck making excuses. This is gonna be one ugly looking thing. Can't resolve that symbol. Okay. What? Well, whatever. That should work, right? Hey, there we go. Classic Daddy Bezos messing with the streamers. You know it. Oh, this here is not correct. Oh, here. These are not supposed to be capitalized. There we go. Hey, Mike. Ria Stuff. He's here in chat. Just for context, he's my actual brother in real life, so I know him in person. It's not really relevant in any way. Just figured if there's stuff flying over your head at any point, that might be why. I dismissed an error without reading it. Oops. Something went wrong. It's a family deal on the stream now. Yeah. Yeah, it's it's a package deal. Twice the trouble. What did I just do? There's a null pointer. Those aren't fun. I don't like those. That's not correct here. That doesn't make sense to me, really. Please see line 92. Okay. Ryan, you're so lost with all the code. That's fair. I don't exactly make it clear and easy to follow all the time either. What is happening? It's a feature, Mike. Security by obscurity, right? This code is designed specifically to be confusing and impenetrable. Oops. Definitely not not the best. All right, what is going on here? I think this might be part of the issue. I just don't know what's happening. No, that doesn't make sense. This is built in right here. That's good. Yeah, Ria actually has been, I think you've done 2 streams now, right? He uses, oh shoot, which one is it? Logic, I think, to make, like, to produce music and stuff. It's pretty cool. I don't like that this isn't working, and I'm a little confused as to why, but I don't want to try too hard to figure it out. This is the problem of working on a Friday. All right, let's close this. That's not giving me any useful advice, really, or useful information, I should say. This should all work, right? Let's split this like this. All right, let's have a little peek here. Let's load the namespace anyway and see what's going on. Okay, so it does generate. That's good anyway. Knew someone who did art therapy before. Seems pretty interesting. Yeah, Mike, our family, we all like to do a bunch of different things. I think we all try to be creative and stuff like that, but every one of my siblings has picked something different to be doing. We're not all, it's not like a family full of engineers or anything like that. We all mix it up a little bit. Kind of makes things pretty fun. Yeah, I personally can't speak much to music therapy. It is absolutely not my my training. But Ria knows what he's doing for sure. Let's see. This isn't making sense to me really. I didn't change anything about this other than, oh, maybe, no, I don't know. Let's try it with blank. See, I'm having a hard time figuring out why it works in the REPL here, but it doesn't work in the browser. Well, okay, let's go. Oop, that's not at all. Ugh. Not what I wanted to do. Let's check the console for a minute here. Each child, blah, 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 blah. None of this makes sense to me. Wait, does it actually render it though? It does not. It worked before and now it's not working. I'm confused. I'll figure it out later. That's my tactic. Whoops. I'll leave that in there as a note. Just sneak it in one more time and try. What? See, now it's kind of work. Nothing makes sense to me. Oh, wait a second. Is it because I wonder if it'll work like this. I have to figure out why that would be. Huh. Okay, strange. Blue, blue, green, green. Oops. I don't understand. Can make therapy a little more approachable for quite a few people. Might be biased. I think it's beneficial for a lot of people. Music therapy, that is. Makes sense. Do you think code-based therapy would ever be a thing? I mean, it might be like a, a lesson in patience. I don't know. I would imagine that you could, like, there's these, hey Cobra, how's it going? Hope you're doing well today. There's this programming language often designed, or like it's cited a lot and used for teaching younger people programming. At least a lot of the time it is. It's called Scratch, and it's not necessarily therapy per se, but it is a really nice teaching tool for real programming concepts in a nice visual style that helps you create drawings and all kinds of stuff. It's pretty neat. Oh, hey, apparently there's an online editor for it. So this is visual code editing. You can drag and drop blocks and stuff like that. The idea is you can move this cat around with commands and stuff like that. I've never played with this before. It looks cool though. Let's close the tutorial. Where's the play button? No? This is why you don't skip the tutorial, by the way. No? Oh, cool. I don't know what I'm doing, but this is a little environment for teaching. Mike, coding makes you want to rip your hair out. You advise against it if you want to avoid stress. We were talking about Mike yesterday. Yeah, Cobra was trying to blame you for stuff again, Mike. I stood up for you though. Mike was just disturbing the peace, you know. Embrace your fears through code. Would you ever blame Mike? Yeah, you would, indeed. Cobra, I'm calling you out. You are not innocent. All right, so I have no clue why this was bugging out, and I have no solution at the moment. I do also realize there's one thing I need to let's remove the example there. I have to copy something into the resources file. That should, there we go. That image is there now. That's nice. Okay, so these colors don't make any sense. I also don't understand why it's working now and it wasn't working before. A problem that solves itself isn't a solved problem. It's just a temporarily hidden problem, and that's frustrating to me. Let's see. Ah, all right. You know what? So I have time for this later. The one thing I want to do is focus on figure 1. I'll make one figure and then I'll move to the 3D modeling because that should be satisfying. Hey, Sick Pluto, you just finished your test, got 85. That sounds great. See, look, you can. You've got the knowledge, you've got the capability. I'm glad to hear you managed to get that done. That's good. Nice work. Nice work. Cobra, you innocent until proven guilty. I'm streaming, right? Like it gets put on the internet. Although you're a little lucky I don't put the chat on my screen, at least not yet. Oh my goodness. No, but seriously, Sec Pluto, that is really nice. I'm glad to hear it. That's the kind of thing that once you've done a few tests like that, you realize that, you know what, you have the capability of doing maybe even more than you think up front. I remember university tests always bothered me a lot, but with the right care and study, they usually turn out okay. So I'm glad that went well for you. All right, just make one figure. That's all I need. Figure 1. Basically this. How big is the triangle by default here? Oh, I see. A 36-inch square. Okay. That seems pretty good. I can handle that. This is the wrong document. Yeah, Mike, that's actually a really good point. Yeah, Sick Pluto, if you have questions about stuff for clarification, and Cobra, if you have questions, go for it. Try to be helpful when we can. Mike especially. Sometimes I feel bad, Mike. You end up inundated with questions on my stream. I appreciate your willingness to give answers here and there. If you get put on a team with a member you don't like, how do you deal with it? This applies to me as well. Oh boy, that's a tough question. The first thing that comes to my mind about dealing with a team member that you don't like so much is, at the very least, let's say after one class you say, can we quickly talk for 5 minutes? You exchange either emails or phone numbers for texting, so you can communicate whatever you need to. And then the next thing to do is say, I would like to set up a time, let's say once a week or twice a week, depending on how long the project is. I don't know. You say, I would like to set up a time where we can plan to meet together for 30 minutes to plan the sections we have to work on. And just do your best to get them to agree to those things. Get a calendar on your phone or something. Try to get them to agree to some stuff. Yeah, the unfortunate thing, Cobra, is that can happen. I'm trying to think. It is really tough. I mean, you could go the drastic route and say I would say no matter what, you really have to push to meet with them in person and try to divvy things up and say, I need you to do this, I'll do this, we need to do this and this and this, and I'll check in with you, in 2 days or whatever to see how it's going. And the extreme route is you do everything on your plate, and if they do literally nothing, you let it be that way, and you take the low grade that you get just to point out, as a lesson for someone that they have to pull their weight. That's a tough thing to do because your grade is affected, right? Yeah, Mike, I was thinking a similar thing. So Cobra, I've never had to do this myself, but one thing you can do is, let's say you use email as a common way of communicating with your team members. You can bring, if you keep your email chains of communication, so what you want to do is try communicate and get genuine work from other people. You want to try work in good faith, right? But you can, if things just aren't working and things aren't going, how do you hide a body? Yeah, don't do murder. That's a bad call. Better to fail a course than to than to commit a bad crime, in my opinion. But save, like, try to communicate with them honestly. Save the email chains and use those as evidence to your prof later on. Like, hey, look, I've been trying really hard to work with this person and they're not pulling their weight. Is there any way we could work out an individual grading scheme or something? That's kind of the best you can hope for. I think Mike has good advice there too. You take the L and do the work and get a good grade, and then they'll coast on your work. But oh my goodness. I do not condone what's happening in the chat here. Boy, oh boy. You guys are on your own. All right, let's get something done here. So this part here is going to be polygon. And I'm going to make it, well, first of all, I'm going to scale. No, that should be fine. No, maybe it's too big. Let's try this. 5. We'll translate this whole thing. 0.1, 0.1. Yeah, there's something different, Cobra, about someone who just is struggling with the material but is putting in effort. That is like, it's still nice usually to work with people like that, because they're working with you, not hoping you do everything. But someone who is not pulling their weight, as it were, it's very frustrating for sure. Mike has a good take on it though too. Is it sucks maybe to do all that extra work, but it does end up being really good practice as a dev. That's maybe cold comfort, but sometimes it's the best we got. I remember all through university, I never had a horrible group working experience. I always ended up working with people that I quite enjoyed, and at the very least were respectful. We were all respectful of each other's time and effort, and it usually worked out quite well for us. So unfortunately, because of that, I can't give direct personal experience advice, Is this the right shape? What's going on? Something's not right here. I wonder. I don't understand what that is all about. It's also not giving me, like, it's not giving me an error at all. Like, it's not giving me any information, so that's just not good. I'll think about it. Cobra, in a situation where someone's complaining about the work you do, it is okay to call them out on it directly and say, look, hey, you can complain all you want, but you need to know that I worked hard on this, in part because you weren't. My advice is to generally try to be not a huge jerk about it, but you don't really have to be polite to people either, right? Like, if you do all the work and they complain about it, you can point out that they really can complain if they want. You can't really stop that, but they don't really have a leg to stand on in that regard. And it's okay to say as much to people, right? The trick and art of communicating is not only ever saying positive things to people, it's saying things that you think and feel in a way that people will actually listen to it, you know? And that can be a hard thing in general. The other side of this maybe is perhaps, it won't be as bad as you think. Maybe you won't end up with this person. Two, maybe if you do, you find out that you actually can work well together somehow. If you, I don't know, are friends with them or something. I don't know. Just, you know, it's not a guaranteed bad outcome. It might be, but pay attention for little indicators that your assumptions might be a little bit wrong too, right? Because you never know. Some people are surprising, right? Like they seem awful and then one-on-one, you know, they're a little more communicative and all that kind of stuff, you know? Okay, this same line is still not working, so I'll figure this one out later. I just don't understand. Although, let's try this one last time. Okay. That's the wrong button. There we go. Don't think he'll make it to second year. Mike has, like, hey, Cobra, like, we can all keep joking around and that's fine, but like Mike has a seriously good perspective on this potential issue. Mike's got some serious dev wisdom over there, so you know, feel free to joke around, but if you're looking for a serious answer, Mike's been really helpful right there. And yeah, so another thing is, like, a lot of people, when they go into their first year university and stuff like that, I don't blame anyone for doing this, is they might, you know, for, you know, societal pressures, parental pressure, or, you know, people thought they liked a thing but didn't. A lot of people might not enjoy or feel comfortable in the courses they've selected. And so that might come out as laziness for some people, or it might be, you know, they didn't want to do it and so they slack off. And there's any number of reasons that people might not make it, like you say, to second year and stuff like that. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, you know? Not everyone needs to be a dev. Not everyone who starts studying programming needs to finish studying programming. The only downside with that is you end up having to pull a little extra weight, which is a bummer, but, you know, it is common enough that after first year, a lot of people switch courses or drop out. And I've seen plenty of people do that who are totally happy with their choices. So yeah, maybe that's the right way for them to go. Yeah, the Great Divider project. We had similar. Our physics course was like that in first year. Yeah, solo projects are a lot of fun. If you can swing it though, Cobra, make a few like close friends in your class over time, like that you genuinely enjoy, and you can end up helping each other study, working together, and it makes things. You learn a lot when you're working with people you enjoy. Uh, it makes group projects a little bit more fun. It makes class more fun, and it is a fun accountability uh, thing where you're all helping each other pass, making sure you're understanding the material. That's my generic advice for university is, pay attention to the friends you make and rely on them and be helpful to them too. Okay, I'm kind of getting things working here. I need to make another one like that. Yep, that's good. So let's also make this 600. Scale it down a little bit more. I want to translate this one. Actually, you know what? Let's not translate this one at all. Just keep it flush and simple. Is 100% not possible? 100% is totally possible. Your prof might be messing with you. I mean, it depends what the marks off are. Like, have you looked at the reason for it? Like, if they're genuine problems, then your prof is just marking you with some inconsistencies, right? That's all. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The best thing about the code you write is you'll be terrified of it later. Like, what? Why did I think that was a good idea? I don't know what a personal audit is in the context of university, unfortunately. Cobra, grades are not unimportant. Like, they do matter, but I wouldn't stress too much about getting a 99 versus 100%. Like, you had to write about your personal life. Where do you lose a mark? Probably on writing style. Unfortunately, when it comes to writing related grading, it's like, yeah, grammar, maybe punctuation. Talking about hiding bodies, maybe. The implications of murder. Who knows? It's anyone's guess. Are you serious? What? I don't understand why this keeps happening. I think the order that things are being reloaded is causing weird issues, but I am not sure. It's the last time I'm just gonna let that be. It's clearly not working, and I need to figure that one out, and I'll debug that later. You can't give out that info. All right. I'll be right back, guys. Well, okay, I'm back. Let's see, what did I miss here? Learning to code is like learning to speak. If you were to hear yourself talk from a year or two ago, you might think you sound like a fool. Same's true of code. Yeah. You just gave me a horrible, horrible realization, Mike, that a lot of my speaking is on the internet now, and I might have to look back over that footage at some point and might just be horribly, horribly embarrassed with myself. Okay, this second polygon I need to now be all right. I think there's a healthy amount of not being embarrassed about how things were, but understanding how things are different, you know? If that makes any sense. Like you can just observe changes in yourself over time, right? You weren't bad before and you're not great now. You're just changing, right? And you can see the delta between, and that's kind of cool. So I think, yeah, you're right. I might be okay. I do get sick of looking at my own face and hearing my own voice when I edit videos, though. Oh, Cobra's already the best. You peaked, Cobra? It's all downhill from here? Is that what you're saying? Okay, so this... This has to actually be... This is starting 4 inches, so 32.4, right? Yeah, that should be good because it's a 45-degree angle. This one starts still at 36 in the Y, but 32 X, and then this one is 36 down. So that is the indication. Yeah, perfect. Okay, that's good. Which means the next... Oh. This one here, if I translate it, let's say 41, and I want to just have the slices be, I want it to be the remaining slice of that, basically. Demigods never go downhill. Pretty sure Hercules had a pretty tough go of things for a while there. Cobra. There's this little thing called hubris that that a friend of mine called Icarus, you know, suffered from. He was weak. He's a good friend of mine, okay? You know, he'll still mess you up. Okay, just trying to think of the positions of this. So this one is the starting point, then this one will be at 36.0. This is maybe a bad way to do the polygons, but for now it's fine. There's that. Then this point is 36, 36, and then 32, 36. That should land me... Oh, not quite. I messed something up here. Oh. I have a slight dyslexic moment there. There we go. That looks wrong. That's so weird how... I don't know, like... So that's correct, but it looks like an optical illusion. It looks like this edge is smaller than it is once you move it. You know what I mean? Even though it's correct. I think it's actually related to the stroke makes the corner kind of stick out further than it is. Yeah, the funny thing about demigods is they're still mortal. True enough. True, true, true. Oop, jeez. There we go. So that's one slice. I am definitely taking my sweet time with this today. Okay, so cut a 4-inch slice and then a 3.5 slice. I can do it. "30 pages a day of Python coding," by the way. Do you comment every other line that you do? Do you have multi-line comments in your Python code? I'm joking. That's a lot of work that you're putting in. You actually do. So putting in comments is really good for learning and everything, right? And it's good for tracking little things you might need to keep in your head. So there's if you ever end up working, there's this measurement, LOC or KLOC. This is 1,000 lines of code, so kilo lines of code. LOC is lines of code. It is usually a weak metric for being a good programmer. I only mean it in this way. This diagram here, right, is taking up these certain amount of lines, right? If I do this, the function hasn't changed at all, but I've eliminated 3 lines of code just by removing some white space. I can further remove white space by doing this, right? So the point is lines of code is not necessarily a robust way to check if you're writing a lot of code that's useful, if that makes sense. So just keep that in mind. But 30 pages of commented Python code sounds pretty good. Okay, you're studying pages of a book. Okay, gotcha. That makes a little more sense. Mike, it's like 30 lines of imports, and then and then the first page is all class structure definitions and what is a good way to do this? I really need to come up with a function that I can give. What I'd love to do is give a polygon and then a arbitrary line and then call it slice, and then it generates 2 unique parts from that one piece, having sliced it along that section. That would be really cool. I won't do that today though. You're coding a SpaceX ship. No, the code for the SpaceX rocket is let's see. Def launch return true, right? If falling equals true, thrusters dot engage, else tweet meme.tweet. There we go. Yeah, flawless, perfect code. This is weak sauce today. I'm just so not focused for the day, you know? That's just the way it is though. 7.5. 36 minus 7.5 is going to be 28.5, right? Did I copy the right one? Yes, I did. Yeah. $28.5, 36, and then this one would be that looks right. Oops. All right. One more little thing, and then I'm just switching gears because I don't want to do this right now, so I'll work on something else. So this is going to be same logic as this one here, right? So I need to do, this is correct, and then this needs to go to 32.4. Then this needs to go down to 28.5, 36, and then this one needs to go not to 28.5, 36, but to, oh no, this is 32. I'm messing something up here. No, I'm not. We're good. 28.5. I think that's right. We'll find out soon. That looks good. And if I translate it back in position, yep. This is not the clearest, but that's just gonna have to be okay for now. I'm gonna call this good for today. I want to make a slice function probably on the weekend for this, but I'll do that later. I'm gonna leave this up, leave it open, but I'm gonna switch my workspace around now to my design. There we go. Let's get OpenSCAD here. Are things working? I don't know if they're working. Maybe. Oh, that's the wrong one. I clicked the wrong box. Oh, you hate to see it happen. Just easier to close it. Seriously? There we go. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Maybe I will leave it up there. Do one of these again. Seriously? Come on. Can do better than that. There we go. Perfect. It's beautiful. There's nothing wrong with this even a little bit. All right. Okay, so I have to start the watcher. Like this. Okay, that should be good. All right, let's see what's up here. Mike and I are your inspiration to become a better programmer. Oh, I'm glad we can be inspiring for you there, Cobra. I am not of the opinion that everyone needs to learn to program, but I do think everyone can learn it because so at least to a degree where you can use computers to be powerful tools to help you communicate and think. And I think you got what it takes, Cobra. I think you can do it. And I mean, you know, little asterisk, I'm not the best programmer there is. The reason I love programming is because it makes me more capable of using my computer to do design work. I consider myself more of a designer and a builder than a quote unquote proper developer, if that makes sense. But I like using development and programming to build tools and documents that communicate designs. I think that's a really powerful thing to do. I mean, I studied engineering, right? So I like calculations, and computers are really good at calculations. So it's a lot of fun. I want to... Yeah, if you want to... Yeah, Mike, you and I both kind of put up the... Well, wait a second. We might not be the right inspiration. It's all good. Personally, I try to think of my development as a skill set and a tool that I can use in my life and career, you know? I try not to tie my skills to how I identify as a person. You know, I am not a dev so much as I know how to do development, if that makes sense. I mean, it's maybe a silly distinction, but I try to be careful with it as an identity, if that makes sense. But it's still fun to do development work. Is a ton of fun. Yeah, yeah. You were nice to Mike, and he's all confused now. Does not compute. Okay, so what I don't understand is, let me show you. I need to turn up the resolution on the render here. So if you look at this is a pentagon tube, but that's only because of how it's rendering a circle. It's discretizing it with a really low poly count, or edge count, sorry. I can change that by... So if I go into the editor here and I put this, how does it work again? I think it's fn equals, and I can set it to 300 or so. And I should be able to refresh that. Yeah. So this fn special variable, whatever you want to call it. Oh boy, that makes it hard to see. Let's not show edges. There we go. See, it just increases the edge resolution. If I make it 100, it's probably plenty good as well. I just need to figure out how to set that from within my Clojure file and not manually put it in here. But I don't know how to compile it into that. How long did it take me to learn Clojure, by the way? So the honest answer is from when I started to literally now. There's stuff I'm still learning. I'm not an expert yet. There's a lot of depth that I still want to explore. Just off the top of my head, there's concepts like transducers, better recursion understanding, protocols, using atoms properly, better reactive app design. What else? There's all kinds of stuff. Oh, macros. I'm not great with macros yet. Smarter, higher order function design and usage. All kinds of things. But I would say before I could do the kind of stuff you're seeing now, how long did it take? It is honestly a hard question to answer. Is the best way to learn to do projects? Personally, I think so, yeah. The trick about doing a thing that someone else says is a fun project, personally, I never liked that. So, for example, a common thing is they call it to-do MVC. MVC is minimum viable candidate or something like that. So people do to-do apps as like a first project. It's a valid project. You can learn a lot, but it's boring in my opinion. So I never liked doing projects that other people set up. I vastly prefer figuring out a thing I want to accomplish and then see how I can do it in code. So one of the latest scripts I did was automating FFmpeg and editing my videos, which was my latest YouTube video. That was an example of a project that I just designed for myself, right? So in my opinion, projects are the best way to learn if you come up with the projects on your own. Projects are pretty good if you're doing someone else's project. And projects are really boring and hard to complete if you're just following through a rote list. But yeah, so that's the other thing, is if you can't think of a project, someone else's suggestion is not a bad way to go. Personally, I just found them hard to motivate through. So to just answer your question about how long it took to learn Clojure, I would say 6 months to a year ish. It depends. That's off and on, right? I had a full-time job and everything, so you can't learn it all the time. But the stuff that got me into programming was this 3D CAD design programming, and I learned enough just to make cool designs and then kept learning from there, right? Yeah, that's a good point, Mike. If you have literally no ideas, just starting with tutorials isn't a bad idea. Did I have previous experience or did I know another language? I knew and know a little bit of Python, although I haven't used it in a while, so I'm getting a little iffy. But I have no professional programming background. I'm pretty much entirely self-taught. When it comes to CAD design work and programming CAD, that's 100% self-taught. I never learned that in school at all. That was tutorials, looking up how to automate SolidWorks with VBA. recording macros and figuring out how to modify the code that the macros produce, that kind of stuff. So it's like, seriously, for me, the drive to learn it is always about, I want to make cool designs that are powerful in the computer, right? Like if the computer has a bit of code that it can calculate and update, and I don't have to think about changes, suddenly I have a more powerful design, right? And that's really true with parametric 3D modeling. So that's always been the motivation. And more I just try to work that idea into all my little bits of code here and there. And I also really I love sharing ideas and information with people. That's one reason I like streaming and making YouTube videos. But I feel writing code to help with your design process is a really powerful way to openly share design ideas as well. So that's another element of the motivation. But yeah, self-taught, so definitely not perfect. I want to, let's make this shorter. Let's just make sure this is actually connected here. Yeah. There we go. Okay, we're cooking. All right, so what I need to figure out is how I can render this properly. Nope, that's not it. All right, let's go try to figure out what's happening here with check it out here. If I had to explain Clojure to someone with zero knowledge of a programming language, how would you describe it? What's it used for, etc.? Well, so what it's used for, it is a general programming language. You can technically do anything with it. You know, the sky's the limit. Just like Python is technically a language that you can write anything in. What I would say is a lot of people will use Python, for example, for data science work, statistics, some mathematical calculations, matrix solving, that sort of things. So it's used a lot in academic situations because it's clean to write quickly. There's a lot of support from a lot of smart people, and so Python is popular in those fields. Clojure is very popular in a smaller sphere. It's not as widely adopted, and the people who tend to really like and use Clojure use it in small teams to make full applications and complicated data manipulation libraries. So, for example, one of the biggest projects that Clojure is used for is a database called Datomic. It is a database platform that's built on the cloud, and it's using Clojure and Java, I'm sure. People use Clojure for web apps. It's definitely popular with that. I do know there are people using it in a lot of internal tooling. That's pretty common as well. But it's a more niche language for sure. What is it? The only thing that's different than other programming languages, well, it's not the only thing. It uses a special syntax called prefix notation, so it's going to look weird compared to other languages, but it's actually not that hard. I would explain that to them, what prefix notation is, and then I would maybe explain what functional programming is and what immutable data is. Those are the two important things to it. Yeah, Mike's got that right. It's also, there's definitely cultural evolution around things too. Like, for example, Python and Ruby are, in my opinion, they're rather similar languages, but Python and Ruby kind of diverge in how they're used a lot, right? And that's more cultural than technical. But it's kind of hard to know specifically what is going on with it all the time. You know, things evolve in ways that you can't predict. All right, let's try to figure this thing out for a minute. Actually, do I have, no, oh, this is, where's my design? Let's go here. Oh, geez. So when I turn on the watcher, the autocomplete fails. That's weird. I don't know why that is, but hey, whatever. Okay, so I just don't know why this doesn't render into anything. Right, SCAD, FN, 300. Okay, so it does show up. What if I just do, but I pass in a second thing? Yeah, okay, so that's, it should just work, is my theory. I don't get it. Well, let's see. I could cheat it. Maybe that's fine. Java's in everything. It's not a great language. So many things are running on the JVM. It'll be around forever. Government jobs use Java as well. Java got really popular in part because, what is it? Oracle, right? Oracle owns it. They had like a massive advertising campaign and like a years-long push to popularize it. And then it kind of made its way into the roots of every enterprise piece of software in North America. And it's everywhere because of that. And the thing is, like, the JVM itself is a pretty amazing piece of tech. But the Java language is kind of a pain to use sometimes. It's one reason I like Clojure too, is it uses, yeah, Minecraft, of course. Yeah, Node.js for web apps is definitely the popular way to go. But the JVM itself is a powerful tool. like Clojure runs on the JVM directly. Like it emits Java bytecode and runs. It's not like it transpiles to Java. It uses the JVM directly. At least as far as I understand, that's how it is. And then Node.js is used by Clojure script. It's great. I love it. All right, let's finish actually writing this string out here. Oh wait, I don't need to do that. Okay, that should, oop. I might have to restart the REPL entirely for that to take effect. We'll see. Let's try that. Session restart, please. You don't have an IDE for your laptop and you don't want to run Java on Vim? I mean, you can start with... Oh, I've never used either of those, so I actually can't answer that question. Mike might have experience with those. I think IntelliJ has like a community edition, right? Isn't NetBeans related to IntelliJ in some way? I don't know what I'm talking about, clearly. There's the design file, the watcher. All right, let's try this watcher now. Hopefully this doesn't totally mess it up. We'll find out. Let's just change this. Let's get rid of that. There we go. All right, now we've got something. All right, so that's going to be good enough for now. All right, so I kind of cheated, but now I have a higher resolution for rendering curved elements. So this tube actually looks like a tube. That's very helpful. So the reason I have this is well, let's make a square tube as well. So we got the round cross section and square cross section, which is going to have a width, a height, and a thickness. And it's going to be the difference between, oh, this is, I need to let corner radius be 1.4 times the thickness. I gotta see if I can remember actually how to do this. I might not. Oop. My Cobra, my gut would tell me that probably you want to go, flip a coin to pick IntelliJ or Eclipse and start with one of those, and simultaneously download VS Code, Visual Studio Code, because VS Code you can use as a general. You have a two-sided coin. Most coins are two-sided, or three if you count the if you count the lip of a coin. Yeah, so get Visual Studio Code, I would recommend. It's just good to have it installed. And pick IntelliJ or Eclipse, either one, and use that one for Java would be my recommendation. Yeah, Mike is totally right though. The editor does not make the programmer, right? They're all gonna write text down into a file for you. All right. So this square cross section, we'll start with the minimum. We'll start with the easy things. So we've got inner width and inner height. Each of those is going to be the result of map I'm not sure. Yeah, minus 2t over width height. Maybe a convoluted way of writing it, but it should be okay. And here, I think rectangle is the name of that. Width and height. And then this is I width, I height, rectangle. I think that'll work. We'll see. Alright, so this tube, I want to switch it to def A is round, cross section 1.065 is probably too thin, but that's fine for now. B is square. Let's make it a 1x1.065 to start. Okay, save this. Ooh, I did something wrong. Oh boy, I don't know what I've done wrong. Let's get rid of this. Don't need it. Well, I don't know what that's all about. Let's try rectangle. Ah, okay, there is no rectangle symbol. What is it? Cobra, you're blaming again? Use that two-sided coin you've got to help you decide which editor to use. Or install both of them and flip based on the day of the week. The editor is not the most important thing. Square, well, that just is ridiculous. Let's see if that works. Nope. Seriously? There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. So this should work now, right? Nope. Yeah, ooh, it's almost working. It's a little bit wrong, but I did something wrong here. Oh, this is backwards. That was silly. There we go. Okay, so that's a square tube. I don't know if I really should care about this, but technically metal tubes always have a radius on each corner, which is, you can, as a rough rule of thumb, if you do 1.4 times the thickness is usually close to what the proper fillet is on a tube. Mike doesn't do IDEs unless you have to. You're going to write your code on a piece of paper? Well, you can. You just need to probably get someone on Fiverr to type it out for you, right? or try whatever Google's latest OCR library is and see if it can parse your handwriting for you. I think I'm gonna get going in about 15 minutes. I've got other stuff I want to do before the end of the day. And it's Friday, you know, so a little bit of casual calming down, you know, before the very end of the day. That would probably be nice. All right, so what am I doing? What do I need these tubes for anyway? I am not sure if Mike ended up seeing this. I mean, it's not that crazy to see, but I may as well show it here. I'm not sure how this will render. Okay. Oop. Poorly is the answer. Let's just take that out of there. So this is, the holes are, I forgot about those. So the boxes now, I have to view wireframe, show edges. So these boxes this is the actual size. I need to make 6 of these. 6 will fit into the back of my car, and 6 will fit under the bed and be like a compact bed frame. So, and the idea is I can make these, I want to add holes in a grid pattern and brackets so I can stack them and bolt them together and make sets of furniture out of it. When I move, I can basically completely disassemble all of these into their subcomponents and reassemble them as different furniture kits. That's the whole idea. So these holes are placeholders, they're not complete, but the reason I'm working with metal tubes, the idea is I have a regular grid of holes on all of the faces of these, probably at 2, maybe 3 inches, and I'll bolt things like metal handles, maybe bolt rope handles for easier grip, have brackets on the underside that I could either bolt little feet on and make a tiny coffee table. I'll have some casters so I could have a wheel section and all that kind of stuff. And the idea is you just have all those things interface with a common, probably a 1/2 inch bolt size and holes at all of those interfaces. And boom, I've got all kinds of click together materials to make furniture as I please. So that's the idea. I'm pretty happy with that as a concept. I obviously need to position these holes in the right spots. What's happening here? What did I miss? Might go to sleep soon. Adam, any ghost stories? I have no ghost stories. At least not that come to mind anyway. I'd be talking out of my ass if I had any ghost stories, and I'm not prepared to come up with a cool story at the moment. Don't know why, but you like hearing a ghost story? Yeah, a lot of people do. It was never really my cup of tea, but I feel like part of it is the contrast, you know, hearing a scary thing while you're safe and warm by a fire or in your bed or something like that. I feel like the contrast of you're in a safe spot or with people who are you can trust, and you're just hearing these scary, frightening tales. I don't know. I think the human brain gets excited by that sort of thing. It's just a theory, though. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, so here, this particular hole is coming from I'm doing a difference here with this cylinder. So it's definitely too big of a hole right now. This is the radius of it. So let's is it the radius or is it the diameter? Let's put it at 1/2 inch and see the size of that. See, that is closer to what I want. Now you can imagine, I wonder if that's maybe even too big. Let's, like, what if I do 3/8? That's probably good. How do I turn this into a nice looking grid? Do I believe in ghosts? No, I don't. I think there are so many reasonable explanations for ghost encounters related to psychology and all of that sort of stuff that no, I don't think that stuff is I mean, I believe people have experiences that they consider to be ghost experiences, if that makes sense, but I feel as if they're completely natural and benign explanations for them. That makes sense, I think. So Mike's not real? Well, he never said he was a ghost. At least I don't think he is. An attempted attack incoming. Yeah. Yeah, Cobra's next statement, Mike is not a ghost yet. Dun dun dun. Frightening. Let's just do a for loop in here. So let's try for x, y. Oh, no, this has to be like this. For x range. Well, let's do like a crazy range. Well, no, let's not do a crazy range. We'll do 20. 0, 20, step size of 2. Y range 0, 20, step size of 2. Oh, you you don't need a victim, you need an accomplice. That's what you're saying? Man, I love streaming and I love programming. It is very weird that I have to practice the skill of talking about completely irrelevant things while I'm still actually trying to accomplish some code writing. It's very funny to me. I'm not saying you need to stop. I'm just saying I never would have expected that this was like a necessary skill to develop. It's ridiculous, I say. All right, so here I want to translate this by x, y, and 0 and z. That should give me an entire... Oh, no, I did it wrong again. Classic mistake. I wonder if that'll work. That's gonna be a no. Oh, it's not closed. Nope. There we go. Hey, kinda. Boy, that is something else. Gotta say, I do love Clojure. Like, I didn't even have to try that hard in it, and I've got I do have a grid here. It's not quite what I'm after yet, but Oop. Uh-oh. I don't know what button I pressed. Oh, shoot. That's unfortunate. What did I do? Oh, dear. Alt F4. Do you think I was born yesterday? Who do you think I am? Come on. I actually don't even know. So here, I am going to press Alt F4. I'm not sure what it does on a Mac. It didn't work. I was born 2 days ago. Yeah, I'm fresh. I'm real fresh over here. Worked on your prof? Really? Oh boy. That's a classic party prank. The Alt F4 method. You can't use my own tricks against me. I think everyone, you know, who grew up with computers at all has tried that on Teacher at some point. I remember when I was in high school, me and my friends were good, like we were on speaking terms with our guidance counselor. So one day we went into her office and we took a screenshot of her desktop, and then we set that screenshot as the desktop background, and then we hid all of her icons. So it looked like all of her icons were up, but when she went to click on them, none of them would do anything, and she couldn't figure it out. It was very funny. Our computer, like our IT person / computers teacher, he figured it out pretty quick, and he knew that it was us. So he's like, it's good, guys. Just don't do it again. So we didn't get in any trouble, but it was a good one. Yeah, that one was definitely fun because it gives them, if the teacher in question doesn't know what's going on, it gives a good scare, right? Because it's like, what's happening? Normally, I think I opened up an emulator by accident there. Normally things just work, right? And then when something goes wrong, people kind of can freak out a little bit. But it's harmless. We didn't break anything. Used to change the keys around on a keyboard. See, so I've never done that one because I'm always surprised that, like, I never think it would actually work, right? Like, but then again, I guess there are a lot of people who do, what's it called? Hunt and peck, right? Where they actually look at the keys. The only times where that would be a real, depends on how far you take it. I guess I would struggle a little bit. Ugh. Let's close this, please. I didn't mean to open Emu. All right. Yeah, no one noticed. So that's what I mean, Cobra. Like, you're not going to notice, like, because I don't look at, unless it's some symbols that I never use, because sometimes those end up in different spots on different keyboards. Although even that is rare. I don't need to look at the keys all that often. I probably wouldn't notice, and it probably wouldn't be a problem if you had swapped the M and N keys, like you say. That turns into muscle memory, right? What am I gonna do yet? I'm gonna go in just a few minutes. I want to try move this grid so that it actually fills more of the space here. I'll just do that and then probably get going. I also, before I forget to do it, it won't be relevant this time around, but let's bring this number back down to 100 to keep the render will be smoother when I have a lower fragment size here. Actually, 80 is probably perfectly fine. A slip keyboard? Oh, split keyboard. Hey, Mike, do you have a like an Ergodox EZ type thing? Give me a second. I haven't used it in a while, but I love it. I want to see. I'll show you my keyboard. Yeah. This is, I mean, it looks weird. It's not set up. I haven't set it up because I don't actually know why. I have no real reason. This has been my favorite keyboard I've ever used. I really do love it. Once you're like accustomed to it, it's so comfortable. And it's really nice to use. And it's also, it is really fun to see other people like look at your keyboard in confusion. It's just funny, you know? Razer gaming one, is it a mechanical keyboard? Probably with blue, Cherry MX blue or reds maybe. I have another keyboard. Like this. This is another really fun one I like a lot. It's compact. I like the color of the keys. It's really plain, minimal, you know. This one's nice to use once in a while because of the clicky. Yeah, it's satisfying, right? I enjoy it. That one and the Ergodox, they're both really nice to use. This one, so I'm only using it because when I'm streaming, I don't have a ton of room on my desk. This is just a Magic Keyboard. It's actually not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be, but I don't like it as much as the other keyboards. But, you know, they get the job done. But Mike's definitely right. If your livelihood depends on you using a keyboard for a long period of time during the day, every day, ergonomics is probably worth thinking about because you don't want to end up hurting your hands over a long period of time. What's my keyboard now? I'm just using, so this is a Apple Magic Keyboard Bluetooth one. It just came with the computer. It's thin, easy to use, you know. The Ergodox is really nice on the wrists. Yeah, you hate this one? Yeah, it's not my favorite keyboard, but it's fine for while I'm streaming. I don't use it all the time. The Apple one's not easy or hard on the wrist. The thing about most normal keyboards is they force your hands like this, so your wrist angle is like turned, right? Because your shoulders are wider than the keyboard usually, and so you end up turning your wrists like this, and over time that can actually strain them and hurt them, you know. Exactly, that's a really common, like that's how your wrists end up. So the Ergodox one, the split keyboard, you can turn the keyboard really wide like this, and you can keep your shoulders nice and open like this, and just have your wrists lined straight, and your fingers don't have to move as much. It sounds silly, but it makes a difference with your joint health. You know, take care of your body, even if it seems silly, and it's good. It's also a fun keyboard to use. It's just clicky and it's nice. All right. I have to go very soon. I'll just make this change quickly. And that is on the panel. So here, I'm just going to get all crazy with this ugly code here. I'm just going to translate this whole bunch of things to have to do positive x minus y, it looks like. Oh no, negative x, negative y, yeah. All right, so length divided by -2 plus 2 inches. Same thing here. Width divided by 2 plus 2 inches, and then 0. Is that going to work? Oh, missed a bracket. Okay, so without being smart about this, I'm just going to bump the XY. Oh, here, this needs to be indented a little bit like this. I'm going to bump the range up to 100. So it's definitely over calculating, but there we go. That is approximately, very approximately what I want these things to look like. And then you can imagine now I can make all the accessories to kind of bolt into all of these holes. So that should be pretty cool. So that's chugging. I have to get going. Yeah, Cobra's bragging about his shoulders. I think it's time for me to go. Yeah, I don't really have anything to say other than I hope. Yeah, bye everyone. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I always appreciate that. I will be back again on Monday, and then normal Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, assuming everything goes fine. Stay tuned. I'll have another YouTube video up again soon. I'm really encouraged by the reception of the latest one, and I enjoy making them, so keep your eyes open for those. And have a good weekend. That's really all I got to say. Just have a good one. I'll see you guys later.